Hey, we're Teacher Talk, and welcome to our channel.
We are going to be sharing some tips and tricks to help you make it through the school year.
In this video, we're going to talk about how morning meeting can build your classroom community.
We will be discussing how it is a fun and valuable way to foster connections within your classroom all year long.
So, to start morning meeting off in your classroom, you first want to have the kids come to the carpet and to make a circle around the carpet, or in your area in your room if you don't have a carpet. Just an area in your room where they can be in a circle to look at each other and kind of build that community of the togetherness and connectedness.
I think it's also important to note that morning meeting isn't just for kindergartners or first graders. I mean, you can do this all the way up through any year, really.
At least through middle school, because I feel like that's where they start to hit puberty, and that's where the exclusion starts. So morning meeting will continue to have that inclusion.
Absolutely.
So for older children, if you don't have a carpet in your room to have that carpet time, you can always just have them pull up their chairs and make a circle that way. But it's just really important to have them have that sense of inclusion and community by forming that circle.
And being in the circle just helps everybody become involved, no one is left out in a corner. So,
after you've gathered your class into a circle, there are 4 main parts of a morning meeting: greeting, sharing,
Group activity,
and
morning
message. So your goal by the end of the year is to have all 4 components every day. Just start with a greeting at first. If you're just starting out with morning reading, go with a greeting, because it's the easiest way to start
getting to know everyone's names, and just teaching them kind of proper manners with greeting people in general. Knowing that when people say good morning, they should be saying good morning back.
And in any grade level, kids need to learn the names of the students in their room, so that definitely helps them learn them as well.
So this is a really great way to develop that camaraderie amongst your classroom.
Yeah, and help them make friends faster because they can know their names.
Right. There are lots of different ways you can do a greeting. You can do a formal greeting, which is it's a little bit longer. It's not as fast, in my opinion, and that teaches handshake and using
proper use of Miss and Mister, and teaching them. Well, that's a greeting that they're going to need to know for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
So it's really good to start that in kindergarten.
Yep. So can we show a little bit of what it looks like?
Okay.
Good morning, Miss Becky.
Good morning, Miss Chelsea. And it's important to teach the eye contact and the firm handshake. And in kindergarten, it may be a floppy fish, but you can, as the year progresses, you can work on those skills.
It also helps them. A lot of younger kids have a lot of trouble distinguishing when to use Miss and Mister.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the perfect opportunity to teach that, so they're not calling you Mr. Becky or Miss Josh. So yeah. One of my favorite ones, kind of to start out the year, especially because some of them don't know everyone's name. So it's kind of okay that they're picking people that they know their names, is called the wake up. So everyone kind of pretends that they're asleep on the carpet, and the teacher will start and they'll say, wake up, Johnny, and then Johnny will yawn and stretch and say, good morning, Miss Tracy. And then Johnny gets to call on another friend and say, wake up, their name, and then they can yawn and say, good morning, Johnny, and then on and on until everyone's woken up. So that's just a fun way to get them kind of moving and stretching and playing, and they think it's silly, and
but there's a whole list of activity or of greetings on Pinterest and Teachers Pay Teacher. You can print out packets. It's insane the amount of work that other people have already done for you. So just searching morning meeting greetings anywhere on the internet will probably find you a nice selection to start your year with.
Put mine on a ring, just makes it easy to pick from. Quick reference.
And I know some people will have them just open, not on a ring, just in a basket or a jar, and they'll close their eyes, and once you've taught them all, you can close your eyes and pull one out randomly or have a student pick randomly, and that kind of puts a little bit of mystery and fun into it once they've learned the routines of each greeting.
So the next part of the morning meeting is sharing, and this is where the students have an opportunity to share something about themselves or about their lives. And usually probably a few students, 1 or 2, maybe 3 students a day, not everybody, that they really, so they get a chance to share about themselves. Everybody will eventually have a turn, and they get to learn about each other, and it helps build the community in your classroom as well. And it also helps them practice asking questions and knowing when to not tell so much, so other students can ask them more questions, so they can answer them.
Absolutely.
So it's great practice for that. Again, show and tell helps build with that, so that they bring an item in and they can show about that and say a couple things about the item and then kind of pause and kind of wait for the other students to ask them questions. So it kind of gives the students practice with that.
It helps the students to learn not to overshare.
Yes.
Which, especially as 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds, it's really difficult for them because they're just so excited that they got to bring in their teddy bear, and they want to tell every single thing that they've done with that teddy bear, where they got it, what its name is, everything. But if you can teach them how to only give a few details, it will help the other students to ask those questions that they are so ready to share.
Yeah. In the beginning, I've read that you can try to keep it to one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So try to keep it to sharing to one sentence. And then also, if you do something like starting with the question of the day, that does give an opportunity for more students to share. And then maybe they'll
Right.
get more comfortable sharing, and that gives you the opportunity to have more than 2 to 3. Maybe everyone can share a quick sentence if it's a question.
Yeah.
And I've also seen in classrooms where they'll have a sharing calendar or something like that. So they'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with 3 slots next to each day of the week. And as children start to feel comfortable with choosing when they want to share, they can just write their name on the line, and those 3 children are the ones sharing. So that way you're not picking randomly, and they're only signing up to share or sharing when they are really excited to do that.
Yeah.
Because you never want to put a child on the spot, and sharing is never mandatory. Because if the child is not comfortable with it, then you don't want to break the trust and the relationship you're building by forcing them to get up in front of the class. They may be embarrassed, they may just be very shy.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really interesting way to do it without embarrassment.
Yeah.
And like Chelsea was saying about the giving them opportunities to ask questions, it's also teaching them the difference between a question and a comment. Especially in kindergarten, sometimes you'll say, who has a question? They'll be like, I like blue. That's not a question. So it's helping them practice those skills that they're going to end up learning. So that pulls in that academic part as well.
And as far as show and tell as well, it also helps them practice asking different questions. Sometimes, like, they'll say the person who's sharing might say, oh, like, my mom got this for me for Christmas. And I've had kids before say, oh, like, where'd you get that? And they're like, well, I got it for Christmas. So it just kind of helps them practice asking and thinking about the questions they asked before.
And listening.
Actively listening.
Yes.
And with ever teaching anything new, it's really important to model what you want them to see. So instead of just saying, okay, it's show and tell day, maybe you do that every day for a week. And then on the next week, you start opening it up to students. But giving them the opportunity to see how you want them to share would be really important.
Yeah, same with answering questions of the
Yes,
day.
absolutely.
Things like that. If you give your answer first and they see that format and how either concise it was or what details you included, then they know their expectation for when they're sharing their answers.
Yep.
So just having those clear expectations and so they know what is expected definitely helps with everything in your classroom, not just morning meetings.
Absolutely.